Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play Blades of Avernum. Last episode we started a new scenario, Korhog Pass, and it's a very concerning place. Most of the people here believe in one true god, and any who don't are heathens who must die. And the only reason they're not killing them openly is because the Empire is here and stopping that. There's only a few non-believers left, and things are not pleasant here. Also, there's ogres, who the believers here believe are here because of the heathens. So yay. Fortunately, word is the mayor here may not be one of them. As is the way in Backwaters, only the town hall has been built with stone. Although sometimes one of the numerous religions of the Empire decides to construct its temple in stone, even in Backwaters. Paston, however, does not appear to have a temple, and the town hall is not exactly pristine either. You step into the cracking marble of the town hall floor and notice a receptionist by a desk in the hall. She notices you as well, but judging by her expression, she is not particularly thrilled to see you. The receptionist gives your fingers a good slap. Hey, you had no business going through my desk. Get lost before I summon the guards. Nice touch. There is a table in the hall of Paston City Hall. Behind the table sits a roughly 40-year-old woman. Her clothes are ordinary, serviceable country wear. A blue scarf is wrapped around her head. She must be the receptionist. She is surprised to see you. Did you just come into Paston last night? Your faces are unfamiliar to me. My name's Kara. I am Mayor Talon's aide. How can I help you? I'd like to speak with the mayor. Is that possible? Kara seems doubtful, but eventually she nods. Yes, I believe the mayor might see you. One moment. The woman gets up and exits the hall through the door on her right. She has only gone for a minute or two before she returns. Yes, Mayor Talon will see you now. Her office is the door on the left. Kara gestures you onwards. You are now a problem transferred to somewhere else. Are there some kind of troubles in Paston? Kara ponders your question, clearly troubled by it. I don't know. That is, I do not know what I'm allowed to say. I can't handle these crises, and I haven't been properly briefed. And the soldiers don't deign to speak to us townsfolk at all. Corporal Corso is the worst tight-lipped... Yes, but I really do not know what I can say. I do not know what the mayor's stance on this is. We rarely get any travelers. Then I suppose I should see the mayor. Right, you should. One moment. I've heard that a tribe of ogres have attacked Korhog Pass. Where did you... Of course, no one has bothered to tell the townsfolk what to say to travelers. Then again, why should we be quiet and withhold information? It's these blasted Empire regulations. I don't know what we are supposed to do. The mayor seems to be the only one in the know. Alright, to the mayor. The archives. Probably the most worthless place in any Empire village or town. Though it must have some merits in terms of administering and such. But you are probably not interested in finding out how much wool the local sheep farmers produced last year. I'm glancing at them anyway. And of course there's nothing. Nothing in there either. Alright, mayor. Behind the desk sits a woman of about 40 years. Her shoulders are considerably broad, but her body has fat as well as muscle. In her younger years, she must have been in incredible shape. Her hair is blonde and long. She greets you with a grave expression and introduces herself as Mayor Talon. Introductions now completed, she continues. You travelers picked a very bad time to visit our small town. If I may make a suggestion, you should turn back right now. How come? Is it because of the ogres? The mayor looks at you curiously. Ah, I see you have talked to the townsfolk. Technically, I did not forbid them from talking about it, but then again, I did not think any strangers would show up in Paston. Yes, ogres have indeed hopped out of thin air, apparently. At first, they attacked the settlement in the north part of the valley. I sent Captain Leppington to repel the invasion, but that was what the ogres were hoping I'd do. When Leppington was chasing a small group with his men, a much larger army had assaulted our fort north of here. Only a skeleton crew was there at the time, and the ogres overwhelmed the defenders before Leppington had the chance to return. Then the ogres attacked the Yelbro trade post. This all happened yesterday, and I have not heard from Leppington since noon yesterday. Oh dear. How can a large group of ogres just pop out of nowhere? Unfortunately, I don't know the answer to that one. After the attacks began, my assistant looked up all references to ogres in the town records. Apparently they lived in Korhog Pass, but the latest archival entry of them dates back 50 years. The Empire's policy for what to do with monstrous humanoids back then being what it was, the ogres were hunted down and killed. My guess is, and this is pure speculation on my part, that not all of the ogres were destroyed. Those ogres that survived hid themselves in the mountains and lived there in solitude, safe from Empire soldiers. Now the ogres have decided to end their solitude by attacking the people of Quahog Pass. Why? I'm afraid my speculations fail me there. That's terrible. What can we do to help? The mayor eyes your party, weighing your skills. Well, there are only 4 of you, but you'd still bring our numbers up by almost half of what we have now. Do you have combat experience? You say that you do. Very well. I will recruit you to assist us in the defense of Paston. Your first mission is to travel north to the Elbro trade post and find out what has happened to Captain Leppington and his troops. Come back when you find Leppington, or when you find what's left of him and his troops. Could you tell me something about Paston? We are a small town which does not interest the Empire much. Mayor Talon laughs in bitter amusement. That much is obvious from the fact I was appointed as mayor here. I'm not exactly sure whether I was appointed mayor as a reward for my military career, or if I stepped on the wrong man's toes in my time. Oh, but you did not really ask about me. Sorry, my mind was wandering. Paston is pretty much just a town grown around the marketplace. There are sheep farmers in Quahog Pass and loggers in Quarryman. Caravans owned by the Elbro merchants also bring wealth to our town from the north. Well, they used to before the ogres showed up. I hope someone takes up the caravan route. I know there are some Yelbro merchants in Farport, but most of them live in Quahog Pass. Why haven't you sent for reinforcements from the south? Hey now, who said I haven't? I have! Talon breathes out and calms down a bit. I sent a messenger yesterday to Krizan on the other horse in Quahog to get reinforcements. Yes, we only had 2 horses. Personally, I wanted to do this the moment the ogres showed up, but Captain Leppington convinced me that our forces could easily overcome even a large number of ogres. And I, being a well-documented idiot, believed him. And it looked like we were winning, but then even more ogres showed up and... well, you know what happened afterwards. Alright then. Let's go talk to, the commander here, see if he has anything to say. What's your opinion on the situation in Paston? You've seen the mayor, right? I guess it's okay for me to talk about this then. Quite frankly, the morale of the men is terrible. My morale is terrible. For God's sake, there's only 10 of us here. Who knows how many ogres are out there? They could outnumber us 10 to 1. That's the short end of it. I think we're doomed. You're doomed? Surely the situation can't be that bad. That's a short answer, and yes, it is true. If the ogres were to attack now, I doubt we could hold them for long. Even if we, by some miracle, manage to repel the first attack, we do not have many arrows or bolts for our archers. Our supply of arrows might last 1 attack, 2 if the battles don't last that long. Then there are the melee attackers. We have too few of them. Even if our arrows last, our men won't, and that's because of one thing. This lousy town does not even have a damned gate. I heard when they were thinking about fixing the old gates, they just tore them down because no one's going to attack here. We weren't even hit by the plagues. Gods above, what fools! Yeah, what were we talking about again? Yeah, I agree, it's always worth it to have a gate. Anyway, moving on. Well, that's south. It's an interesting way. You have no idea where these 3 ogres came from, but they were determined to catch you. They attack you, practically squealing in glee. Looks like they've mistaken you for easy prey. You're about to disappoint them. Ogres, eh? Let them come to us. Fireball, please. And what the hell? Smite. Alright then. And we've got a bronze greatsword, which can be sold. This path takes you back south. Quahog Pass seems to be full of hostile creatures. You could circle around them by going south, but it would waste an impossible amount of time. You'd be late in your arrival in Shermick. The interesting job you are seeking could be gone by the time you get there. Are you leaving Quahog Pass? Not at all. Not at all. The air in Quahog Pass is still very humid from yesterday's rain. A rustling wind from the north pushes the air into your face. The sun peeks through a blanket of gray clouds and has, with the help of the soil, removed other traces of the rain. It looks like this is going to be a hot and humid day. Apart from the 3 ogres that attacked you, you see no further sign of ogres, nor do you hear anything peculiar. Can't go over there. Interesting. Okay. You arrive at a small cottage near a forest. There's no smoke coming from the chimney, nor do you see anyone in the vicinity of the house. You go inside. The house is empty. You do not see any signs of battle. The family probably just left their home. Doing so, they left most of their possessions behind. Not that their possessions amount to much. What do? Leave. If they just left, I'm not going to take it. You reach the peak of a small hill. It's not that high, but it still provides a small increase in your scope of vision in the pass. Nonetheless, you still see no ogres or other two-legged creatures anywhere. But you do see a pitch-black pillar of smoke some 3 miles away. Based on what you've been told, it originates from where the Yellbro trade post should be. Some of your other senses register something before you decide to move on. You hear the sounds of battle, though it is difficult to tell where exactly they are coming from. The pass has an odd way of echoing the sound so that pinpointing the location is impossible. It comes from nearby, however. Paston, 5 miles south, Sharamik, 55 miles north. Here, maybe? You reach a forest clearing. Sounds of battle lead you here. It could be heard from pretty far away. You see about a dozen ogres led by a spellcasting shaman attacking a larger group of Empire soldiers. At first you thought that since there were more soldiers they would be winning. However, this is not the case. The soldiers are on the verge of breaking, and in the short time you were watching, a few soldiers fell down while the ogres lost nobody. Your quiet inspection of the situation is cut short when the soldiers notice you and manage to fight their way to you. You're pulled into the fray. Right, oh. Those ogre brutes look scary. Alright, the ogre mage needs to die. Actually, no. Okay, that ogre mage is powerful. Can I hurt him with this, maybe? Not really. I gotta run up to him. But he's summoning so much, and all these ogres are in the way, there's no way I can get to him in time. Or maybe I can. Alright, we can get to him. Almost. Not quite. Well, there go a bunch of the minions. Not enough of them, though. One of the soldiers died. There we go. Good. Now heal Fox, please. We can finish up the last piece. There we go. Alright, let's take all this loot. I'm only gonna take anything more than 100 coins right now. The last ogre has perished. The soldiers begin to administer first aid to the wounded. Nevertheless, it looks like some of them will not make it. A blade master, apparently a sergeant, approaches you deferently. He introduces himself as Parks. Thank the gods you showed up. We'd all be dead if it weren't for you, and that would have meant that Captain Leppington's squad would have died to the last man. You asked what happened to Leppington. The captain tried to stop the ogres of the Yellbro trade post, but he failed. The ogres were too numerous, and we were forced to retreat. I don't actually know what happened to the captain. He wanted to make sure that no one was left behind. I guess he's still at the trade post. Well, his body is at any rate. So what's the plan now? Parks, gather up the soldiers and lead them back to Paston. The soldiers gather up their wounded and head for Paston, but not before some of them decide to thank you again and slap you in the back. You, however, should still go to the Yellbro trade post and see what happened to Leppington. There also appears to be something back here. I can't get to it. Maybe around here? There we go. You locate the owner of the horse, or at least you thought you saw a glimpse of a hand or a leg behind a mass of fur. There happens to be about a dozen large wargs in your sight, and they are eagerly devouring a corpse of a man. Of course, your arrival puts an end to their meal. They bare their crimson fangs at you and charge without hesitation. Horse! Must mean that thing there. And this should finish them off. You are victorious. You approach the savage body of the poor man and notice that he was an Empire soldier. A messenger, to be precise, judging by the symbol on his sleeve. All of his equipment is in ruins. You are just about to leave when a mournful howling stops you. Your gaze turns to the hills where you see more wargs, at least twice as many as the group before. Your eyes shine with hostility as they stare you down. Some of them move in a way that makes you think an attack is imminent, but suddenly the whole pack raises their heads in unison like they just heard something. Then they all turn around and lope away, leaving you unmolested. There are fresh traces of blood on the ground, but the body does not look fresh. That might be due to the fact that the body has been stripped clean of flesh and is now a shiny new skeleton. It's not a human body, though. It is a horse. There is still a saddle strapped around the backbone of the creature, so this is not a wild horse. Whatever happened to the horse's rider? Yeah, we found it. Right, let me sell the few things we have here. Can't sell to you. You we can sell to. Alright. I'm just gonna report in for a moment here. I don't know if what I found is anything I can report in on. That was a messenger that they sent. I think. So, no wonder they're not getting any reinforcements. I'd like to talk more about the ogres. I wish I had more to say about them. I got these documents from more than 100 years ago from the town records. Based on what's in the documents and what I've seen, I can say this much. The ogres attacking us are descendants of a tribe of ogres the Empire thought they'd wiped out close to 2 centuries ago. Judging by the sheer rage of their attacks, I'd say they've come for revenge. Parks shrugs. Not that the ogres need much of a reason to smash some heads. How did the Empire think they had killed all the ogres? It's not that hard to believe when you think about it. The mountains that surround Quahog Pass have about 1 million little caves you can hide in. Not even exaggerating that much. Anyway, the town hall had records of a great fight near the mountains north of where our fort is today, where it used to be, and I guess where it will be again, God's willing. So, the battle. The Empire forces defeated the ogres, killing all of them. Then they advanced deeper into the mountains, finding many small ogre settlements. Parks hesitates a bit, as if he does not quite approve of what comes next. The soldiers exterminated every male, female, infant, and elderly ogre they could find, and when they could find no more, they stopped looking. I also found a report insisting that there might still be ogres alive in the mountains. But since the ogres did not strike back, it was assumed they had all died. Do you think the ogres are out for revenge? Parks frowns, unsure of his thoughts. Like I said, I don't think the ogres need a reason for killing humans. They're a bunch of brutes. Did you notice that they were burning our fallen at the trade post? Well, they weren't burning them exactly, they were cooking them. They eat corpses, even their own. Savages. Maybe I'm backtracking a bit here, but it is at least possible that the ogres are here for a well-due payback. Then again, considering how we'd practically forgotten there were ever ogres in Quahog Pass, then the same must be true for the ogres. It has been 200 years, after all. Do you know anything about who is leading the ogres? Well, ogres usually have a chieftain of some sort, so this tribe must have one as well. Parks scratches his right temple while thinking. Come to think of it, the ogres did shout anger fist a lot while they were attacking. That and the witch. Maybe this particular tribe has some kind of dual position for their chieftainship? Well, that's all I know about their chief or chiefs. I'm not even sure this anger fist is an ogre. It might just be a war cry. But hey, if it is an ogre name, then you can't really expect much rationality with a name like that. I suppose. Alright, well, that leads to the trading post, which, you know what? I think we can go and investigate in the next episode, because I'd say this episode's gone on long enough. Sure, it's a shorter episode, but that might take a while. That'll be so we'll clear it out in the next episode. Till then, I'm Chester44, that is Fox, Sheik, Bonnie, and Draco. This has been a Blades of Avernum Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.